1045 The Team, your home for New York Yankees baseball. Joining us right now is the beat writer for the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders, the AAA affiliate of the Yankees, DJ Eberle, also Capital Region native. Every time I call you and I hit the 518, it freaks me out because I don't expect you to be from here, DJ.
I know, I get that a lot when doing like phone interviews with guys from around here. Some of them know the area code. And they're like, wait a second, you're from upstate New York? And I'm like, yeah. It's funny.
All right, so DJ, you just over at the TimesLeader.com, you just wrote a whole thing about Justice Sheffield. He's the name. He's the one everybody's starting to ramble on about. What are you hearing about trade rumors? How realistic do you think they are? How is Justice doing?
Justice Sheffield and Clint Frazier are the two names that have popped up that the Orioles want from the Yankees. Now, it seems like if the deal gets done, considering Manny Machado is basically, it's a rental. I mean, he'll probably end up re-sign. I would imagine he would end up, signing an extension with the Yankees after the season is done or at some point. But I mean, what it is it's a rental. And Justice Sheffield and Clint Frazier, but Justice in particular, is not the type of talent you trade for as a rental. Because I really do think this guy. I mean, I've seen the majority of his starts either in person or watching them online. This guy's the real deal, and, the Yankees are talking about adding a starter as well, or the reports are out as the Yankees want to add a starter as well. There's no reason why, in my opinion, at some point down the line in August or even early September, Justice Sheffield couldn't be that guy. I think he's got that type of talent to be a number 2, number 3 starter with success in the majors. So this is a big-time prospect. As far as how he's handling it, I talked to him yesterday at length about this because I'm curious. Obviously, these guys are human. They're on social media. They see what's going on. He says he sees what's going on, but he's been through this before because, just a couple of years ago, he was traded to the Yankees. So he sort of has learned from that experience, and he does his best to block it out. And I asked Rail Riders manager Bobby Mitchell about this as well, and he said that they don't even talk about it. He doesn't even want to address it because at the end of the day, these guys can't control anything aside from what they do on the field. So it's just wasted energy. And why worry yourself about something that may or may not even happen?
DJ Eberle with us right now talking about the Rail Riders, the Yankees AAA affiliate. So DJ, every year it seems I'm way too excited and too gung ho. I was screaming about Judgment Day a couple years back. Then it was Bring Me the Ginger for Clint Frazier. Glaber Day last year. I'm going to start yelling No Justice, No Peace.
Yeah.
You said sooner or later, August. If they did bring him up right after the All-Star break, would that be too soon for Justice Sheffield?
I want to say yes, and only this reason. I mean, he's pitching really well, but he has only pitched 7 complete innings once this season, which happened to be, I believe, his last time out. So the problem is they're so careful with him. They make sure that he sometimes has extended rest every time he pitches. I still think he could be stretched out a little bit more, and so I wonder. I think the All-Star break is a little soon. I think if it does happen, it's in August, and it could also depend on them having an injury to the starting rotation or some poor performances from some of the younger guys who they've been using. I think that could play into it as well.
But the tough part about this Justice Sheffield trade is that the worse and worse the starting pitching looks for the New York Yankees, the more and more likely it may seem that Sheffield has to be one of these guys who occupies one of the spots. So if it's not the Yankees, are there any other teams that are interested in Justice Sheffield that are trying to make a move to get him?
I mean, this is, in my opinion, just pure speculation, but I think if someone like, I think if the Yankees, everyone wants, the Yankees trade for Jacob deGrom or a Madison Bumgarner or someone like that. I think if the Yankees pull off a deal like that, whether it's the Mets or the Giants or whatever team it is, when they try to trade for a frontline starter, that's the guy they're going to want back because he is the best pitching prospect in the organization. He's the closest to being major league ready, and that's what a lot of these teams want is major league ready prospects. And from a pitching side, I think he's the hot name, and rightfully so. I mean, this guy, he's pitching in the Futures game on Sunday. He's a legitimate talent. I think he might, for a starting pitcher standpoint, I think he has the Rail Riders' lowest ERA. Yeah, he's at 2.53 I mean, he's been phenomenal almost from the get-go. He's had a problem with walks. That's something he's still been working on, but it's been better of late. I mean, he's the guy. If the Yankees make a real trade for starting pitching, I think that he'd probably be included.
DJ Eberle with us right now, Capital Region Zone. He's the beat writer for the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders, AAA affiliate of the Yankees. So DJ, isn't he like an untouchable? Cashman just did this whole untouchable rant a little while ago that there's certain prospects like Gleyber and all that, they're untouchable. Shouldn't Sheffield be that? And if they do trade him, doesn't it kind of go back on what we just learned about this team?
I know that Brian Cashman has said in regards to the Orioles deal for a Manny Machado trade, I believe he has said that, Justice Sheffield and Clint Frazier, I know that there's reports that, the Yankees have sent them a trade and they're not included in it. And I know that they don't want to send either of those two guys for just a rental like Manny Machado, even though Machado is an incredible talent, one of the best players in the majors and having an incredible year. And it just happens to kill the Yankees every time he steps to the plate this season. But I do think personally, if I was Brian Cashman, it would take a lot for me to trade Justice Sheffield. Being around this guy every day, seeing the kind of impact he has in the clubhouse, how good he is on the mound, I think that they would need an extraordinary talent back. But at the same time, sometimes not every top of the line prospect is going to start for play for you in the majors. So I mean, these guys are trade chips, and if they want to make deals and they don't want to sign guys to big money in free agency, and they want to work through trades, which is what they've done the past couple of seasons, there is a price that you have to pay. Yeah.
You said Justice Sheffield's prepared for a trade because he's had to go through that in his career before. Other guys within that AAA team, Clinton Frazier, Brandon Drury, have gone through trades as well in their careers.
Yeah.
Are they taking that same mindset that Sheffield is that they're just prepared for whatever happens the next few weeks?
I think so. These guys, I mean, I know Justice, he said that I asked him, I was like, hey, it's out there that the Yankees want to trade for a starting pitcher. At the same time, do you want to be, ideally, because he's someone who said he wants to be in the majors this year. That's his goal. He'd love to be that guy. I know Clint Frazier wants to be that guy in New York. I imagine, I haven't had these conversations with Brandon Drury. I imagine he also wants to be that guy in New York because Brandon Drury especially was that guy to begin the season. So ideally, these guys, playing for the Pinstripes, whether or not they grow up rooting for the Yankees, it's a big deal. I talked to a bunch of guys about this. Playing for the Yankees is a big deal, and everyone would rather be doing that. Especially, you look at the trajectory this team seems to be on with being one of the, having one of the best records in baseball right now. I think, if they could have it their way, they would be the guy in New York instead of being traded because, if you're being traded, you're going to a team that's probably losing. So, the question, right. I saw this on Twitter, a Yankees Twitter fan that pops in my timeline from time to time, pose the questions like, if you're one of those guys, would you rather be traded to, Baltimore, where you're going to play every day on one of the worst teams in baseball, or would you rather be on the Yankees, play sparingly, work to get a full-time job back on a team that could win the World Series? It's an interesting question. I know Clint would rather stick with the Yankees and work his way into a role where he's an everyday outfielder. I know Justice wants to be up in that starting rotation. I don't know. I imagine that this is the mindset with a lot of these guys, knowing how good this team is, and they want to be a part of it. I remember talking to Tommy Kahnle last week, and he said that, that stretch there in the playoffs where he was such a big role as one of the top relievers down the stretch, that's the best baseball memory he has ever had. And it's for him, who is with the Rail Riders right now, wants to get back, is pitching his way back. That's what's keeping him grinding as he tries to work back, just that memory and knowing that it could very well happen in this.
DJ, yeah, with Tommy Kahnle, what is the latest on him? What is he progressing to the point where we'll see him again soon in the Bronx?
I think so. He did. He was a little shaky his last time out. The velocity was down a little bit, but to be honest, I think that he's the best reliever the Rail Riders have, and they have some talented guys like Cody Carroll just pitched a perfect inning in the AAA All-Star game 2 days ago. I think the next time that the Yankees need a reliever, it could be him. They'd like to use Giovanni Gallegos a lot, who is pretty good as well. But I think that he's the best reliever here, and it's just a waiting game. It almost seems like I don't think that he has anything that he can really prove that to more to do, because I think the velocity has been in question. He was pitching, around 100 last year, 98 and 100, and he's only touched 98 this year. I was asking him about it. He said that's something that's really hard to work on during the season. Getting your velocity up is something that you try. You hope that it comes with as you repeat your pitching motion and do some workouts on the side. But I don't think there's much more he can do here to prepare him for the Yankees. I think it's just almost like a waiting game at this point.
DJ Eberle with us right now. He covers the AAA affiliate for the Yankees. It's 104.5 The Team. So I understand there's a face on a really tiny milk carton in Scranton Wilkes-Barre. Rollie Reyes is missing?
Okay, so this is what's interesting. A couple weeks ago when they were in Lehigh Valley, I think he had just came back down at that point. A pinch hit from Mark Payton in a game. It was on Monday. Came back, and then the next day he left the team because his wife, I believe, is getting tested. There was a family-related issue, and he got put on the temporary inactive list. That was back at the end of June. Bobby Mitchell yesterday, when asked, said he has not heard from him at all. They don't know where he is. So the biggest thing right now, obviously, is you hope that his wife's okay, because we're getting some tests done. I hope his family's okay. But it's interesting that the temporary inactive list. I think you can only be on it for a certain amount of days. It's very interesting that he's been gone for 2.5 weeks, and nobody knows where he is. It's very interesting. Bobby Mitchell is, because we keep asking about periodically over the past couple of weeks before the All-Star break and now, and he says he doesn't know. It's interesting. I don't know where he is. I hope you just got to hope that he's okay and his family's okay.
And wow. First of all, before I tell a stupid joke, I seriously hope his family's okay. But he is little. Did someone maybe bring him home as a bobblehead?
I don't know. I don't know. It's strange. I've never. No, don't get me wrong. I've only been covering the team for a couple of years, and I cover high school and college in the past. But I've never seen anything like this. It's like I said. You hope everything's okay, but it's odd. It really is.
DJ Eberle, the Capital Region Zone. You can check out his stuff in thetimesleader.com, and he's covering AAA. Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders. They just crazy stuff going on. We're gonna keep bothering you with this Justice Sheffield stuff, this Clint Frazier stuff, all these trade rumors. But DJ, man, you're keeping the Capital Region proud, man. We appreciate you.
Oh, anytime, guys.